Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, it's an all Pundits show with a great lineup on the program. Bruce Breslow, Amy Tarkanian, and Chris Wicker. It's all coming up next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
Take a look at Pro Group Management and see how your workers' comp requirements can be met head-on. By taking a proactive approach, Pro Group can assure that your company is meeting or exceeding state and federal standards. As you move forward in your industry, Pro Group moves with you, simplifying regulatory tasks, clearing the way so you can get the job done and look to your future success. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday, trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we have an all Pundit show going today and a great lineup. Bruce Breslow is here. He's the CEO of Nevada Strategies. Amy Tarkanian is the former Republican State Party Chair, and Chris Wicker is former Democratic National Committeeman. Pleasure to have you all here. Jill Biden joins the list of surrogates and candidates coming to Nevada. Have you picked a favorite yet?
I haven't picked a favorite yet. I've always loved Joe Biden. I think a lot of Democrats wonder if it's time for a new generation to take the reins of Democratic leadership, and in that regard, Pete Buttigieg is somebody that's very good. I recently had a chance to hear Tom Steyer speak, and he was never on my radar screen, but he frankly has a lot of good things to say, and he's an accomplished businessman, and I think, like he says, he could go toe-to-toe with Trump on that issue. So I think the field is still pretty wide open, although there's three favorites, and they're all not the new generation.
Bruce, do you look at Tom Steyer and think, here's the new John Connolly?
No, it reminds me of Ross Perot and a whiteboard and getting it all out. And his commercials are very effective, but that's how I think his perception is from the community, as he's the guy on the commercials, because nobody's ever really seen him in real life. So.
And is it ironic for a Democratic billionaire to be the man of the people?
Right, and I think strategy-wise, though, even though he's trying to build up his name recognition among the 17 or 20, however many there are out there on the Democrat side, it is very, very early to be spending this kind of money and putting yourself in front of the average voter. Most of these people aren't even paying attention, will not remember him when it's time to vote. And I still think that I agree over here with, you've got Warren, you've got Biden, he mentioned Pete Buttigieg. There's a very prominent Democrat friend of mine up in the north who has been wooed very heavily by his campaign, and I think that's the route she's going. So I think we need to probably pay attention to those names. I also like Tulsi Gabbard. Personally, I'm going to be voting for Trump once again, but if you want to have some new, fresh faces, I think Tulsi, I think Pete, and everyone's getting a kick out of who's Andrew Yang, with his skateboard tactics and catering towards the millennial vote.
Okay,
so
but
it's
I mean,
very interesting
the
combination of people.
Giving everybody $1,000,
right?
I mean, really.
Well, I mean, that's where you can kind of tie into, the whole socialism aspect. Then you go towards the Bernie Sanders folks, where they're wanting to give away everything or clear everything, clear all your debt. Sounds phenomenal. Is it realistic? No.
You know, Amy mentions Tulsi Gabbard, and there's some real issues with Tulsi Gabbard. She was in the DNC leadership when I was on the Democratic National Committee, and she was kind of a bomb thrower at the time. And now she's, for some reason, and I haven't gotten to the bottom of it, she's courted by the alt-right and very right-wing folks as saying, well, what a good person Tulsi Gabbard is. And so, you know, it's a very strange phenomena that's going on there, but I think that, that's just not right. I think that Bernie Sanders seems to be going down in the polls, and I think that those policies that Bernie advocates, while in principle might be good, the fact is that you can't give everything for free. If people get things for free, I don't think it's really appreciated.
Can't
so you
give
need
anything
to you need to
free.
modify.
Right.
You need to modify that. That's not. I don't think a good policy.
I think what you're referring to, though, as far as bomb throwing, didn't she? She stepped down from her position because she didn't like what was going on with the unfairness of the DNC, basically pushing Sanders to the side and focusing on Hillary Clinton, and that's not what the DNC or the RNC is supposed to do.
Well,
So-
and I think I was around in those days and could see kind of from the inside what was going on. And while the DNC staff clearly favored Hillary Clinton, how it was projected and how it was carried forward in the primaries, they were quite fair. I mean, I know a lot of Bernie Sanders folks would disagree with that,
Yeah.
but I saw how it worked, and it was fair.
Is Bernie finished? I mean, you know, as somebody who had a heart attack in 1994 and has had several incidents with stents since then, it seems to me that common sense alone says slow down.
Slow down, but I don't know if it was Bobby or JFK who said the famous line, once you have political blood in your veins, it can only be replaced by embalming fluid. You know, that it's there, and it's not going to go away. He has a message, he has a group, and it seems, I watch the two parties, and I feel so stranded. I'm a pro-business centrist. So you can call me any name you want. Both parties can disown me, but I feel like I have no candidate.
Are you still a registered Republican?
I'm a registered Republican. I was a Democrat for the first 22 years of my life. Been a Republican ever since, and I don't know.
So you should
I
be
believe
happy
in
with
common
the great
sense.
economy.
I'm just watching
Yeah.
you guys fight it out and watching the candidates argue, and I'm thinking that America's shaking its head like, oh my God, what's going on in our country? Because I don't see that young leader. I don't see somebody with charisma stepping out at all. And you know, we need one. We need one bad.
I think with the whole age situation and the heart attack that Mr. Sanders just came out of successfully, it's funny because I actually take a little bit of offense to that when you look at my mother-in-law. She's the perfect example of don't
Former
tell.
city
Yes,
councilwoman
she's former
Lois
city
Tarkanian.
councilwoman. She was mayor pro tem, and she's 85, and she has overcome 2 bouts of cancer, lupus, and can out-campaign pretty much anybody. Still at 85. So there's a lot to be said for Mr. Sanders not
And there's a
stopping.
lot to be
Okay.
said for experience. I mean, I think what we found with our current president, he had experience in promoting himself, but as far as I can tell, that's about all he had. And it's been disastrous for the country to have somebody like that. So experience like Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders that have principles and they've been carrying it forward through the years, I think that has benefits.
But they have a messaging problem, and that's where the president is so successful with his PR training.
Okay, but I want to come back to Bernie Sanders for just a second. Okay, standard recovery period from a heart attack and stents is 6 weeks. And 6 weeks is a lifetime. That's what it took for Harry Reid to defeat Sharon Angle, because it took them that long to get that campaign up and running. So, I mean, realistically, it would seem that Elizabeth Warren is going to have this opening now to be able to take that Bernie Sanders position, but she's moved so far to the left in this primary debate and carrying a lot of the same messages that Bernie Sanders is carrying. And also, it was interesting, there was a piece in the New York Times this morning saying that she doesn't have very much support, except in her own state, from Democrats who are either in the Senate or in the House.
Yes. I agree with you, but to me, it's still just a bunch of noise. There's this candidate, this candidate, this candidate, this candidate, this candidate, this candidate, this candidate. They all have their thing they want to talk about, but nobody's emerging. Nobody's standing up. And I don't know anybody that voted for Donald Trump that's going to change their vote. They say he's a vile person. I would never want one of that kind of thing said around me or my family, but I'm voting for him because I like what his policies are. Somebody's got to separate themselves from the pack, and you can't do it by promising to this group or pandering to that group. You have to speak to the people, and you have to have a message.
The one that keeps standing out to me as the one not pandering is Cory Booker, but he's not getting any traction.
Yeah, Cory Booker is very charismatic, and I think he's one of those candidates that if he can get out to the voters in person and listen to them, I think he can really change minds. But you can only get in person in front of so many people, and I think that's probably a problem. You look at the polling, and it doesn't look like this is his year, even though he would make a great candidate, and he is. I think a generation younger than the leading contenders for the Democratic nomination.
Mayor Pete is an interesting one because he's raised so much money, he's young, he's charismatic, but is he going to be the standard bearer for the Democrats, or is he going to be a great vice president for somebody?
That's a very good question. I don't think most of the voters even know who Pete actually is. Who is he? What does he believe in? He is so calm. He comes across as just he almost kind of gets lost in the shuffle because he's just so calm. You've got Warren, who takes her selfies for 2 to 3 hours after every rally, and she has her rallying cries. He doesn't stand out right now, and he's going to have to do something in order to make himself better known, I think, overall. But then, you talk about how there's, you've got this candidate, this candidate, this candidate. It's interesting, even though they have this wide a range of people to choose from, there's not really a clear front runner other than Biden and Warren at this point. You hear still the hopes of Hillary Clinton coming back, or you hear Michelle Obama. Oh, yes, you do.
I don't hear that from
Democrats.
Democrats.
Maybe you
I don't
haven't
hear that
heard
from
it.
Republicans.
But it's every week there's a new name being rumored. Michelle Obama.
That's because there's a void. There is no. You have to win the primary, so you have to move far to that side and far to this side. But then when it comes down to it, who on the Democrats
I don't
can
think they're
become
content
president?
with their options.
Well, I think you have to go back to the military analogy, which is you don't go to war with the situation you want. You go to war with the situation you have, and I think the field is laid out. Let's take a break. We'll come back to Nevada after this.
Tamarack Junction is South Reno's hotspot with over 450 of the latest slots and video games. Sully's Sports Bar, the Dining Car Restaurant, William Hill Sportsbook, and the Tamarack Steakhouse and Lounge. We're just north of the Summit Mall in South Virginia. Yeah.
Ahern Rentals began as Signal Gas Station on Las Vegas Boulevard. Founder John Ahern grew the business by offering rentals. His son Don built on John's legacy, growing Ahern Rentals into the largest independently owned American rental company, with 89 locations in 30 states. Don also brought his experience and vision to equipment manufacturing with Extreme Manufacturing and Snorkel. Today, Ahern Rentals continues to bring its family values to a new generation. Learn more at ahern.com.
Hi, I'm Eric Robnett, owner of Home Energy Experts. Has this ever happened to you?
Honey, did you remember to turn down the thermostat?
Forgetting to set the temperature? Not fun. We can help. Our new smart thermostat keeps the temperature set for your comfort all by itself.
I'm feeling hot now.
To increase your comfort, go to homeenergyexperts.com for details. That's homeenergyexperts.com.
The signs and symptoms of cataracts can start out small with subtle changes in your vision. So don't wait. Be proactive and take your vision into your own hands. If you're experiencing the onset of cataracts or just have questions, contact your eye care professional or call Eye Care Associates of Nevada today. Dr. Hiss has years of experience specializing in the surgical correction of eye disorders and has completed over 84,000 vision correcting procedures. At Eye Care Associates of Nevada, we'll change the way you look at the world.
The Tamarack Junction Steakhouse is known for signature steaks, handcrafted cocktails, and world-class wines. Join us Thursdays and Friday nights from 4:30 to 6:30 in the Steakhouse Lounge for live music, gourmet plates, and well-priced wines, just north of the Summit Mall on South Virginia.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we've got a lively all-pundit show going here with Amy Tarkanian, Chris Wicker, and Bruce Breslow. Catherine Cortez Masto seems to be making a lot of inroads into rural Nevada and getting a very positive reception. Do you have the sense that the Democrats feel that they can take potentially northern and southern Nevada with District CD2 and CD4?
I don't think the Democrats are going to take rural Nevada because of the voting patterns we've had, and that not enough Californians have moved to rural Nevada.
Yeah, but
yet.
look at, you've got Washoe
Catherine
in
Masto, if anybody can reach out, she's treated people with respect from day one. And I went to Washington about 3 weeks ago with folks from Churchill County and 2 of the commissioners and things, and we met with all of the congressional delegation. But she gave more time and more energy to the group coming, and whether they agree with her politics or not, they really like her. And she has done a terrific job representing Nevada here. And you know, Mark Amadei was fantastic as well, and we got hugs from Rosen. So you know, everybody did their thing. Like I just don't see the rules changing the numbers.
Okay, but here's the point, which is that with Washoe County growing, and by leaps and bounds, you know, we need 50,000 new homes over the next 10 years. Chris, doesn't that give CD2 an opportunity to potentially come up and, you know, be a real challenge? Look at the results in, you know, Amadei's last race, and then, you know, with CD4, North Las Vegas is growing and growing. So,
well, I think with CD2, that's still a long shot, and everybody knows it. And after redistricting, when CD4 was created, it made it harder to overcome. And I think Bruce is right that the voting patterns in the rural areas take a long time to change. I think it's a generational change. However, I must say that Clint Cobley, who came from being nobody, completely unknown, and he got a reasonably high percentage 42%. Of the vote. Yeah, I think approaching Jill Derby's highest. And he's running again, and I think Mark Amadei kind of takes it for granted. And people have told me, he said that this is his seat as long as he chooses to run for it. And so I think you could kind of catch him sleeping at the switch a little bit. And but you know, CD2 I think is a generation away. You know, if we can get it, we'll take it. But Washoe County is a whole different story. I think Washoe County will ultimately belong to the Democrats before too long.
Now that you are a Gardnerville resident, you're just a hop, skip, and a jump away from Carson City, Mark Amadei's home base. Do you think he's in any way sleeping at the wheel?
I don't think anyone should be comfortable. The fact is we have more nonpartisans and independents that are being registered faster than Democrats or Republicans. So I think everyone needs to stay alert, including Congressman Amadei. As far as it being a safe GOP seat, I would like to think that, but never take anything for granted. I think CD4 you had mentioned, probably most likely, and I have a lot of people who are friends of mine that are going to be running in that race because I have been a part of that race at one time when it was first drawn. I know the demographics. My husband won the entire area except for, I think it was 3 state senate seats that were adjacent to each other, and they were in Clark County, and that was enough to do them in. So that one is not really fairly drawn for Republicans because you've got the rurals and the city. The combination there is just, it's deadly.
And by the way, just so that all those people that keep asking me about Danny, will you confirm that Danny is not planning to run against Amadei?
He is not planning on running against Amadei, and neither am I. Apparently, I'm ruffling some feathers, and people think I'm coming in to run for everything. So.
Well, it'll be Adam Laxalt, probably.
Do you think that he will take a shot at this, or wait for a better time?
He wants to be in the game, and I don't know if he can wait.
Bruce, your thoughts?
I think what happened to him was a harsh wake-up call, and he got beat, and it really affected him. So I don't know if he'll put himself back out there again.
Honestly, the only person who I think can say that this is her seat safely is Dina Titus, CD1, hands down.
Yes, I would say so.
Yes, yes.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back after this time out.
Dimitri Prine here for Design Outdoor. At Design Outdoor, we specialize in all hardscapes, pavers, and walls you'll need for everything, from wonderful small yards to full-blown outdoor living. And we only refer the best contractors to make your vision a reality. Our store and backyard are located at 11600 South Virginia, just north of DeMonte Ranch Parkway. Visit designoutdoor.com or call us at 851-9499.
I'm men's rights attorney Marilyn York, and because I represent men in all family law matters, women often call me gender traitor, woman hater, and even disgusting. So why represent men and target myself with these offensive monikers? It's simple. Children with fathers in their lives are 6 times less likely to drop out of school, 15 times less likely to go to prison, and 5 times less likely to commit suicide. So ladies, you can hate me, but please love your children more than you hate their fathers.
Hi, I'm Dave Newman. Remember me? I used to be the house detective, and now I'm a realtor, full-time at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates. A lot of people ask me, how's the market? You know what? It's fantastic. If you're even kicking around the idea of buying or selling, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Call me at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates and just ask for the guy who used to be the house detective, Dave Newman.
The signs and symptoms of cataracts can start out small with subtle changes in your vision. So don't wait. Be proactive and take your vision into your own hands. If you're experiencing the onset of cataracts or just have questions, contact your eye care professional or call Eye Care Associates of Nevada today. Dr. Hiss has years of experience specializing in the surgical correction of eye disorders and has completed over 84,000 vision correcting procedures. At Eye Care Associates of Nevada, we'll change the way you look at the world.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue on with our All Pundits show here with Bruce Breslow, Amy Tarkanian, and Chris Wicker. You were mentioning in our discussion about Mark Amadei, off camera here for the moment, Barbara Vukanovich and comparisons there.
Well, Barbara Vukanovich held that seat for a long time. And I thought that, you know, she's a wonderful person. But at the end, I thought she just got tired of, you know, you got to, every 2 years, you have another election, another election, another election. You never stop fundraising. I think after a while, it becomes a blur, and maybe you forget that you need to actually have an election and run. And I think that Congressman Amadei still understands that he has to work hard to try to win and to have a campaign and to do that. I don't think he's getting complacent.
Well, you know, I will say that Amadei is copying Vukanovich in one thing, which is that he runs these radio ads where he's just talking to the public. Barbara was famous for, you know, I'm Barbara Vukanovich, I'm a fighting grandmother fighting for you.
It's a minute with Mark.
Yeah. And he's doing the same kind of thing. So I think with his base, he's definitely reaching out.
Well, I think so. And what I like about this race is I think Amadei and Cobley have a polite relationship. They're not at each other's throats
until Clint says something outrageous, and then Mark will go right after him.
Well, and I hope Clint says a few of those, but I think that Clint is working hard, and you realize 2 years ago when he ran the first time, he'd worked in the agriculture department and other places like that. Never been a politician. This year, I think he's running a better race. And we'll just see what happens.
Isn't the difficulty for the Democrats, though, that they're running against the positive economy? And isn't it always about the economy?
Always. Always you vote with your pocketbook. And the fact that Mark is not only a sharp guy, but he is very well liked. He's extremely popular in CD2. So don't ever get complacent no matter which race you're in. I mean, I jokingly said, Dina Titus is, she's the only one with the safe seat, but still, even Dina doesn't take it for granted. You see her out, pounding the pavement on a regular basis. Mark is going to be extremely tough to beat.
Back to this, it just seems that the Democrats are pounding away on how bad things are, but for a lot of Americans, after the recession, things are really good, especially here in Nevada. Our economy is going through the roof everywhere.
Yeah, the entire state, growth, job growth, economic development, and it's not slowing down that much compared to other states where it's really tapered off.
You think it's even slowing down?
Not in the north. In the south, things are stabilizing. But God, the numbers are so big in the South that
it's over $20 billion of projects. Yeah. You got the last 10 seconds, sorry.
Okay. Well, I think the economy is good. I think we're starting to see fraying at the edges of the economy. And I would predict that by the time the election rolls around next year, we're going to have a different picture of the economy. I hope we don't, frankly, but I think we will see a different picture.
And that's where we have to leave it, on that down note. And that's just fine. Thank you all. Great panel. We'll be right back. A bird's eye captures its surroundings at different heights. At Brian Culpa Photography, we can make your imagination soar over buildings, parks, cityscapes, and beyond. Brian's images tell the story and get the job done. If you need a new perspective to tell your story, contact Brian today. Brian Culpa Photography. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
Hi, my name's Marilyn Miner, and I'm sure you'd agree that Nevada's a very special place to live. I was born here, and my husband and I have raised our family here. I feel it's a privilege to live and work in the Truckee Meadows. I especially enjoy helping my clients reach their real estate goals. Sometimes the smallest details provide the greatest satisfaction. I'd be complimented to talk to you about your next move.
Call Marilyn Miner at Dixon Realty, 742-1280, or log on to marilynminer.com.
St. Ives Florist, for every holiday and every special occasion. For romance. Custom home design. We have the largest selection of fresh flowers in northern Nevada. And we also offer a large selection of unique gift items. Come see me, Lori Ann, at St. Ives Florist, 700 South Wells Avenue, or call me at 333-9190.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at NevadaNewsmakers.com. You can also download podcasts of the show free of charge at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Everywhere is Nevada Newsmakers. We'll see you on the next broadcast.